BizTakeouts TV, and we're at the 2014 Loeries Expo at the Cape Town City Hall. We're going to go tap into the minds of some of the speakers from the Seminar of Creativity to see what makes them tick. Okay, obviously, Loeries Expo 2013, you are one of the speakers. What is the main theme around your topic today?
I was talking about Afro-centricity, which I simply define as putting the African people first in the marketing effort for Africa, and not making the mistake of thinking that you can first of all average it, or you can just make assumptions about the rest of the world and impose it on the African people. I believe passionately that brands must understand the target communities and then must seek to serve them, and it must be no different in Africa.
Okay, so that leads me to the question: do you see Africa as a whole, or do you think ads and creativity needs to be specifically targeted towards each country as well?
It's a very popular question, and I often answer it by saying that identity is a multiplicity of variables. So the answer to your question is actually both. That there are communities in Africa that make up the continent, but the continent is also itself a culture. And you have to reckon with both. You should not try to choose Africa to be 50+ countries or only see it as one country. There are commonalities and there are points of divergence, and you have to understand them all and harness them for building brands.
And do you think international brands are looking at Africa as a growth continent, and do you think that they're actually doing enough to promote brands and sales within Africa?
Without a doubt, I think that Africa is now seen by many international brands as a growth opportunity, absolutely no doubt about it. And I think increasingly people are genuinely investing into the African continent to understand the African people and tailor solutions that improve the lives of the African people. Some mistakes have been made in the past where people treated it as an overseas market and thought they could just take things from one part of the world and dump it and it would work. I think that the learning has been done. People are on different stages of the journey, but by and large, people do realize that if you're going to be serious about Africa, then you have to tailor solutions to the African communities and make sure that they resonate, and that's how your brands will gain relevance.
I've spent a little bit of time in Nigeria. It's quite a hectic place, but a good business place as well. What do you think makes Nigeria buzz in terms of creativity?
So I think first is the energy of the people. Nigerians are by nature optimistic. Nigerians are people who are always trying to get to a better tomorrow and therefore are willing to invest and work extremely hard at it. And one reviewer once described Nigerians as having an abiding sense of theatre. No matter how difficult the circumstances are, Nigerians find a way to laugh about it. They work hard at it, but they find a way to laugh hard about it. So you see the creativity harnessed in all angles. We talk a lot about the film industry, about the music industry, but we forget that Nigeria has also produced some of the greatest writers the African continent has ever produced. And even the entertainment industry, it goes way back. If you talk about Fela Kuti and the others, King Sunny Ade, and before them, all of those existed. If you look at the traditional art culture of the Yoruba people, of the Igbo people, and so on. I can give many, many, many examples. So this is not something that has a short history. It actually predates Nigeria's post-colonial history.
Excellent. And when it comes to mobile phones, obviously mobile and Africa, they just go hand in hand together. Do you think brands do enough in terms of pushing brands onto the African continent, using mobile as the tool to deliver their message?
I don't think so. I think that there's an increasing awareness of mobile as a platform that should be used for connection and that can be leveraged more. But I think we are only scratching the surface of what can be done in that regard, and there's still a lot to learn about things that can be done in that regard.
And obviously mobile is just going to grow in popularity anyway. My last question for you before we let you run: what inspires you? What gets your going in the morning?
Well, I believe that you should be driven by purpose in life. And definitely I am driven by a purpose, and the reason why I do what I do, I've always said so, is that it is my opportunity to put the African continent in a better light and to be an example of what Africa can produce, and do that by doing something good for the African people. So that's really what drives me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the expo.
Thank you.
Thank you.